Okay, so in my last video, I talked about how you need to acknowledge and be in control of your own emotions. And if you ever feel overwhelmed, then it's okay to let yourself go and cry in front of other compassionate, understanding, specific group of people. But problem is that alone is not gonna help you in more severe cases such as depression. So in today's video, I'm gonna give you some advice on what you can do step by step to combat and ultimately beat depression. Now, I know a lot of you are going to hate me for what I'm about to say. You're going to despise me. You're probably going to think that I'm being an inconsiderate prick, that I'm not contemplating the fact that depression is a genetic predisposition. But it is just that, a predisposition. It doesn't mean that it will happen 100% of the time. And I also know that this advice would probably going to sound a bit like the typical that sort of turn into a meme, like the oh just go outside, just be happy, bro. It literally is that simple, but it's not easy. Anyway, so most people are stuck in depression because they choose to do the wrong things. They keep choosing the bad habits that make their future selves quality of life a lot worse. Bad habits like staying up until late, not getting sufficient sleep, eating junk food, not exercising, not dealing with your anxiety by practicing meditation, smoking weed frequently, whatever. And then you become your future self, and guess what? Your life is trash. And that's exactly what you're doing. You are sacrificing your future self's quality of life by overindulging in self gratification. And deep down, you know you're not doing anything productive. You're just engaging in this acts of self gratification that don't do anything for you. You're not getting any benefit from them. You know. Imagine you spend years and years just doing those bad habits. One day you're going to take a look at yourself and realize the mess you made. Okay, you are simply not doing the habits that make you feel like a happy, healthy human being. It's not your depression that's causing you to choose those bad habits. It's those bad habits that are, in fact, worsening your depression. You're not a victim here. Okay. And I also don't really understand why, when it comes to depression, we're not really supposed to do or say anything about it. You know, whenever someone has depression, we just gotta sit back and be like, oh, just go to a qualified therapist and get prescribed with antidepressants. I think that's bullshit. So, what is the actual advice I'm going to give you here? What I need you to do is you need to start doing things that you feel are beneath your current capabilities. You know, let's say before you got hit by depression, you were doing a lot of great, significant things that now, for some because you're depressed, feel extremely hard to do. And that's because depression resets your progress as a human being. Okay? Before you were at a certain level, but you got hit by depression and now you're down here. So you start from the beginning by doing small, simple things. Things like showering, brushing your teeth, cleaning up your room. Then you don't just attempt to go back to where you were before by doing the same things. No, remember, you lost your progress, so now you got to start from the very beginning. Let's use a video game analogy. Let's say that in order to get out of depression, you need 100 experience points. Okay? And each time you do a simple, basic task, you gain 1 experience point. You know, brushing your teeth, you gain one experience point. You go outside for a 5-minute walk, you gain five experience points. And those small things that you do add up until eventually you can do a lot more, you know? So back to the video game analogy. If you just try to do the big mission, the big assignments without properly preparing for it, without gaining enough experience, you're going to fail. If you try to take on the boss without properly training for it, without gaining enough experience, you're going to get cooked. You're going to get wrecked. So you're going to fail. So when you have depression, it's the same thing. You start with the things that you feel are beneath your current capabilities. So you're now choosing to do the good habits, but I mean, you don't realize it, but you're not at the level where you can fully do those things without giving up halfway through. So what I need you to do is you're going to journal your progress. You're going to and write down the things that you are doing that are benefiting you. So let's say that you're going to try to do 1 minute of meditation. You're going to try to do one push up or one pull up. You're going to try and go out for a 5 minute walk, you know? And you're probably thinking, well, how the hell is that supposed to help me? I mean, I'm not going anywhere with that. You're not. That's right. But those little things add up. That 1 minute of meditation next day becomes 2 minutes of meditation. And then it becomes 3 minutes of meditation. That one push up then becomes two, then three, then four, you know? You try going for a 5 minute walk, then you turn it into a 6 minute walk, and then a 7 minute walk. And then next week you try going for a 10 minute walk. And then week after that, you try 15. You see where I'm going with this? It's not the one thing that you're doing, it's the accumulation of all those things that you do over a period of time that's going to help you. You're going to grow from that because you are training yourself to do more. If you try all of a sudden to do a lot of the things you were doing before, without realizing that you're not at the same level you were before, you're gonna fail. So first thing you need to do is stop being arrogant and accept the fact that you need to start all over again. Okay, my biggest problem was the biggest problem I had was when I was feeling a little depressed was that I thought I could instantly feel better by doing the things that I was doing before without when I wasn't mentally strong enough to do. I wasn't prepared mentally to do. And I watch a lot of this self-development YouTubers telling me that, oh, just try meditating for 10 to 15 minutes. I try meditating for 5 minutes, which is not a lot, but I failed. Again, because I wasn't used to it. I didn't become accustomed to it by training myself beforehand to do all those things, So you realize that you got to do all the small things before you attempt to do the bigger, more significant things. Okay? If you go first through the small things, then you train yourself to accomplish more significant things later on. Okay? You need to stop comparing yourself to where you were before and start being grateful about where you are now and the great things you are able to do. Okay? Stop doubting yourself and be fair to yourself.